really don't know if I've made a good choice or a bad choice. The hood is completely toast. That sun did a number on the clear coat. Believe it or not, ARB actually made rear bumpers back in the day. We definitely are leaking oil. What the heck was that? Somebody had a lot of tacos sitting in there. Hello, my Rover friends, and welcome to the Lucky 8 channel. Today, what have I done should be the theme of this video. I had this idea of a Rover revival video, and a friend of mine told me about a Disco 1 5-speed, which happened to be my first Land Rover. This one's a 95, mine was a 96. I think as these age, the distributor ones are a little bit easier to work on. The Gem ones were just such a tight range, and when those computers go bad, they're done. All right, looking over this vehicle, I really don't know if I've made a good choice or a bad choice, so I think you and I are just gonna go through, take a look at all the bad, talk about all the good, and decide if this one's worth saving, or should I just pull the transmission and wait for another Disco to show up in better condition, which probably isn't going to happen. All right, cue the intro. All right, let's take a walk around the outside, talk about what's going on. And since we're up front, we'll start with the front. When I bought this from the awesome person that was willing to sell it to me, they wanted to keep the bumper for another project. I agreed to that. We do have the headlights in the car. The hood is completely toast. The clear coat is falling off of it. Let's move to the side. Looking down the side, it's not too bad. There's even a little bit of shine left here. It's a Virginia truck, so it's not too rotty or rusty, but that sun did a number on the clear coat up top. And this paint is a completely different color at this point. Around back, the same thing. There was an ARB bumper. Believe it or not, ARB actually made rear bumpers back in the day. So the previous owner kept that, but they were kind enough to supply me with the factory bumper. And since we got the back open, it is an SE7 with those cool jump seats. I do love that. Mine originally had that also. Hey, and the rear door card's still there, that's good. Trailer hitch, frame looks decent here. Coming down the passenger side, it's got a couple bangs and bruises. That has been faded, starting to rust a tiny bit. And the front fender has a crunch. Whoa. After our quick walk around, I don't think the body's destroyed. It's more of a patina. It gives it some style. Well, it gives it something. It gives it some character for sure. I'm sure if we cleaned it up, polished it up a little bit, it would look 1,000 times better. Next up, let's get it in the air and see if the bones are any good. All right, let's dive under here. This is really gonna be the make or break. If the frame's all rotted, then this project is done. But since we're standing here, came with a nice skid plate. That's always good. It has the factory steering bars, which are made of dust. Not a hard upgrade. It is lifted, but it's running the stock pan-hard bar, so that would need to be addressed. The swivel balls are slightly damp, but they're not puking, so that means one of two things. Either the seals are okay or there's no fluid in it. Let's come on under and have a look. We definitely are leaking oil, but it's not super bad.
A little bit of oil right there, maybe rear main seal. Again, nothing horrible. Transmission's damp, gives me hope that there's fluid in it. Transfer case is a little bit damp, but that is actually normal. Somebody put an aftermarket exhaust on it for a catalytic converter. Oh, over here. Stock D1 drive shaft going into an exhaust with some holes in it. So that probably sounds real racy if we can get this thing started. And the horrible Rotoflex, but it's still there. Frame. Man, it's looking good. Check over by the cat. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that. That is just solid. Moving towards the back frame section. Solid. That's almost orange dirt. Yeah, look at that. So that's not rust, that's orange dirt. Tray looks good back here, no holes. The lines look decent. All right, I'm feeling better. What the heck was that? I got a lot of questions about that. I'm sure they'll never be answered. All in all, the frame looks amazing. I don't know what that little hole that was cut into the upper floor pan is for, but it really doesn't affect anything or stop anything from working. Another curious thing I saw was the suspension isn't quite matched. We've got terra firma in the front. Just a standard TF116, so that's just your standard terra firma shock. But in the rear, they've got Bilstein shocks, and I think they're the medium duty terra firma springs. Again, not end of the world. The car sits level, looks decent. The tires on it are pretty good. I think it's time to move on to the bad part. All right, on to the tough part, the interior. We are missing a carpet, but at least we have floors. I'm having a hard time with this one. I like to keep my cars neat. There's a lot going on in here. Come on in. Got my gloves on, we're good. The driver seat is, well, at least it's still got a base, but it's hanging on for dear life. It is the beloved manual seats. Let's hop over the center console. Oh. Reason for the purchase, the shift is smooth as can be. All right, moving along. There's the lights that I promised you came with the car, but we put them in there. Somebody had a lot of tacos sitting in there. So that seat is absolutely destroyed. There was an aftermarket radio, that is gone. Part of the coin holders, ashtray is gone. I don't remember what went in there. That's the clock. Got a little switch panel going on. All right. A mere 231,000 miles. As we look up though, it's better. The headliner's in place. It's got a cool little shelf back there. Onto the back seats. Before we get there, let's take a quick look at this. Also solid. Usually on a Disco 1, these are all rotted out. This one is not. Car's got good bones. Let's just say it right now. Car's got good bones. Needs a lot of love on that interior. But the headliner's in place. A lot of things are kind of backwards for this car. No rust right here, no big holes. Headliner isn't falling out, that's in place. It is a 5-speed, which is super rare. There's only one more thing to look at, and that's the motor. I had the Disco transported up, and when I received it, it ran-ish. Then we've parked it in the weeds for an undisclosed amount of time until I was ready to get to it. and now it isn't running. So I've got two guesses on that. Fuel pump, they're notorious for eating fuel pumps. The wiring to the fuel pump sometimes goes bad, so maybe a local mouse had a snack. But the good thing is with this motor, it is a 3.9 distributor, pretty easy to troubleshoot. So I'm gonna get a jump box, we're gonna see if we can turn it over and figure out why it doesn't start, and then make the decision, do we save it or do we scrap it? And it does have a ginormous zip tie holding the brake booster together. Brake reservoir, oh boy. Blinders, let's get the jump box. That's the same thing that happened when it was out in the field. All right, I'm gonna pull a plug. Actually, it's an older car. We should check the fuel rail. I'll see if there's any pressure there. If there's fuel, that takes away my first guess, and then second guess is obviously spark. I can't imagine it's not getting air, but it's definitely worth opening up the air box and making sure something hasn't moved in. Everybody put your safety glasses on. Woo! That's a long shot. That is excellent news. We have fuel, so no need to fight with the fuel pump. You know what, I'm gonna pull the air filter because it's super easy before we dig into yanking out some spark plugs. Firmly attached, I see. Nice and clean. Actually, given the condition of the underside with all the mud, I am not worried about this at all. Let's take a look at that mass airflow sensor. Something tells me it has seen some dirt. That may be our problem. It's still run if we unplug it, so let's try that. All that's left is to check for spark. Really don't want to do that and get oily today, but I think I'm gonna yank one of the plugs. We'll put it out on top of the block, start it, see if there's any spark there. If there is, then I got a very, very big problem. If there isn't, then it's just something in this distributor area. All right, I'll pull the plug. Let's see if it works. With our spark plug out attached to the wire, we should see a spark right here when I turn it over. If there's no spark, you need to look there or to the coil. All right, that's not good. I hear everybody at home, pull the cap and rotor, pull the cap and rotor. We're just going through this systematically. Cap and rotor's next. Let's see what it looks like inside. That looks super clean. Seems to be working. I don't think this is my issue. That cap looks fresh. The rotor looks brand new. Leads me to the coil. Dig through that. Yeah. Yes, maybe our culprit. Take a look at this. I don't think green is the color we want. I'm gonna go swap this wire out. Let's try a fresh wire. Does help. when you work for a supply house that has this on the shelf. Got a little bit of an exhaust leak, but it is running, dare I say, smooth. All right, I'm gonna shut this off before I don't breathe anymore. All right, my friends, what do you think? Should we save this one? I'm leaning towards yes, just for the nostalgic reasons, or am I completely silly trying to save a car that is not in pristine condition? Think about that for a second. Yeah, the paint's a little bit yucky, but the bones are there. The doors are not rotted. The frame is excellent. Plus, half the off-road stuff is already done. It's got chunky tires, rock sliders. This could make an amazing trail truck, even fun to daily drive. Next Rover Ball car, maybe? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Should I save it? Should I scrap it? Be sure to follow.